Welcome everyone. Welcome to another day of this BA Agile Scrum. We are almost transitioning into the new batch, but we still have three lectures to cover. First, today we will be focusing towards all the maximum domains that we can share with you, domain knowledge for business analyst role. That's number one. Number two, uh, the workshop that we were supposed to complete it today, that we will be doing it tomorrow. And the last workshop we will be doing in the next week's Sunday. So this is how we are going to do. So tomorrow, the Trello one will be happening, and the next Sunday, we will be playing with the virtual city tour guide something so this one will happen next Sunday. So before we begin today with the domain knowledge sharing, I want for business analyst role, I want to know, is there anyone who is attending here for the first time? This is your day one, you are attending with us first time live. Okay, I'll take this silence. No, you might have heard, you might have learned earlier as well with us. All right. So with this note, let's continue. Or anyway, even if you are listening this into recording, and this is a fresh first time for you learning from us, then remember this is going to be as fresh for you as if any first timer is trying to attend this business analyst role, because we are today focusing completely on the domain knowledge. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, first part will be taken by me, second part will be taken by Prerna as well. So we will be maximum cover four domain. We'll start with healthcare, we'll start with the healthcare, and then might move to uh, payment domain. That's the banking payment clearance, and then we will also try to touch base uh, insurance sector. So before I begin, I want to tell you one hack. Okay, the hack is that when you need to undergo or you want to acquire any knowledge um, for any domain, you should be knowing one minimum thing. Okay. And that one minimum thing, if you get to know, that is let you grab more, knowledge and your kind of expertise towards that domain if you get to know that one thing. Do you know what is that one thing? If you get to know, and you will have the fair idea about the domain. And
Life
that is,
cycle.
yeah, absolutely right, Dave. Thank you so much for sharing that. You are absolutely right. So this is what is required, what Dave said, that we need to know minimum. What everyone, what did you hear? For any domain, what do you need to know? Remember?
Life cycle.
Life cycle, absolutely right. So for these domain, we will be sharing with you the life cycle, but it may also sound that few domains you are not even aware of, because in this just 8 weeks of track sharing and teaching all the domains is not possible. Okay, so we will be we have given you a project for one domain. We will be teaching you few domains, but still there are a lot of such domains that you need to explore by your own selves, like oil and gas, like e-learning, edtech, utility, and whatnot. Okay, but today we will be focusing towards maximum, healthcare, uh, banking, payment, and insurance. And in case at all time permits, then Prerna will take for this HRM, that's human resource management. All right, everyone, with this note, can we kickstart? Go ahead with from today's domains knowledge. Yeah, say yes if you are still hearing me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much. So let's continue to get started, and I'm sharing my entire screen with you. Just give me a second. Yeah. I hope you all can see my screen. Say yes if you still can see my screen, everyone. Yeah. Yes, yes. Let
Yeah,
the
we can. We can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's start with healthcare. And today, with this entire domain, we will be talking about the life cycle first. Okay. So when we are talking about healthcare domain, okay, so in this healthcare domain, um, see what you see is all right in healthcare, multiple activities go on. But in healthcare or in any sector, one thing is common, okay? That is, be it any life cycle, but every sector introduces two things, okay? Either product or services. With me so far? Yeah? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So now in healthcare industry also, always some or new, uh, products continue to come into the market. So how it goes, and in this entire life cycle, whatever you are learning today in this entire life cycle, what exactly happens is that at any stage, uh, at any stage, uh, the IT is always associated. Means whatever you are seeing here, that may sound theory, but in practical, you will get to know about its association with the technology for sure. Okay, so I'll be talking about it more in detail with some example. However, when it comes to healthcare industry, healthcare always work in this manner. First time any product or services are introduced, it continues to see a growth pattern. Okay, and there are times come when it starts seeing its maturity level, and thereby more of the rivalry or competition you get to see in the market. So first phase is introduction, second is growth, and third is called as maturity. However, even though it has got its own USP, but yet rivalry is there, what may happen that this particular product or service which was introduced earlier starts seeing its decline phase. Because it starts seeing the decline phase, then again its new variation or new variant gets introduced or new upgrade comes into the market, and again it undergoes the similar phase. Okay, and in every phase associated software input, software modification, or software data entry, or say associated data flow and data migration will continue to happen, which will also store multiple activities like if at all associated CRMs are there, and what all types of different software is getting included with this particular phases. It will continue to store some information, it will continue to pass some information into the different integrated channels or any software or utility or application. Having said so, let me give you the example. You remember the days of pandemic, right? Yes or no? Yeah, COVID time, everyone remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
So what happened when COVID hit to the market? Uh, Many pharma company came into a picture, and they introduced some type of vaccinations. Okay, and then they started growing, and everyone were appealed to take vaccination, and then the particular dominating industry or dominating company starts seeing a maturity level when it started seeing its various competition also coming into the market, and they are also launching their variant. Initially government issued the free vaccination in some country, and also paid vaccinations started coming up. Depending upon their marketing, people started getting attention towards those vaccination who were again introduced into the market, and yet the older one might have seen the maturity level, and their time came where the vaccination started seeing the decline when the oral pills were started becoming the talk of the town, and that started getting introduced into the market. With me so far? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, so this always happened with any type of healthcare product, be it vaccination, be it any devices on which it could be simple oximeter, it could be simple blood pressure measuring device, it could be spatial diabetic shoes and all. So this is how every single time it will undergo the introduction phase, then growth phase, then maturity phase, and this decline phase. And that's all are the four stages or four phases of the healthcare product. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So now you know about it. How you will be getting the project. Project will be around the products or services, and you know this is how it is going to happen, and thereby you will be playing with the software accordingly. Now let's move to the another domain towards the banking, that is mainly known as here the payment clearance. Okay, so we will be looking at the payment more in detail. All right. So here multiple things are involved. So what exactly it says, let us have a look at it. Wait a second. Okay. So this example is talking about Fedwire fund transfer transactions. Okay. So here two parties are involved. How many parties are involved, everyone?
Two parties.
Two parties. One party who is sending money and another party who is receiving money. So party at sender's point is always referred as A, and party at recipient's point will be always referred as B. Always referred as what?
B.
B. Yeah. So be it a customer, be it a bank. Okay. So you will be referring there as a sender as A, and at recipient you will be referring them as a point B. Okay. So here in this transaction, what we see, we will first get to know about it, but there are multiple actions are involved in the backend. We will be also talking about that, and also I'll be sharing some pointers that you can explore by your own self. So here what it tells at the very first stage, that there is a customer A, and he requests $1 million in the depository account at bank A to be transferred to customer B's account located at another depository institution. Okay. So this customer A is requesting its own bank to, transfer $1 million to whose account, everyone? Which customer?
B.
Hello, customer B. Yeah, you are
Customer
right.
B.
Yes. So what exactly happened? The moment he or she requests her bank A, one thing happened. The moment the request is accepted, his account uh, and money associated under his account will get debited. Okay, with me so far, everyone? It
Yes.
gets and but it will get credited on the name of bank A. Now the link gets disassociated from customer A's $1 million in the bank's account, but gets associated with directly with the bank's money and will get credited in bank's account itself, because each bank holds its own account in a central bank of their country. Okay, so every country will always have their uh, central bank which holds every bank's account with them. Okay, so say for example, if it comes to USA, So all the banks in the USA will have their association or their accounts with Federal Reserve System, or you would just call them as a Federal Reserve Bank. So what is the name of the central bank in the USA who holds each bank's account with them?
Federal Reserve Bank.
Federal
Yeah,
Reserve
Federal
System.
Reserve Bank, or you call it as a Federal Reserve System. Likewise, if I'm talking to you from India, in India also there is a central bank which holds,
Central Bank.
yeah, what is the name of that bank who holds each bank's account with them?
Central
Reserve.
Bank of India.
No,
Reserve Bank.
Reserve Bank.
Reserve
exactly,
Bank, yeah.
exactly, you are right. It's the Reserve Bank of India. It's RBI called as. Okay,
Right.
so now you know that even the sender's bank account will have its association or its bank account with the this FRB, or the Federal Reserve Bank. Likewise, the recipient's bank will also have its banking with Federal Reserve Bank. So now what happens? Now, because the $1 million gets tagged with the bank A's account in Federal Reserve System, what this bank A will do? At the second step, Bank A transferred $1 million for customer A by sending a simple message over Fed wire authorizing the Federal Reserve to electronically debit Bank A's account at the Reserve Bank for $1 million and to transfer the $1 million to Bank B's account. Now, let me help you to decode this, whatever it has, so many heavy text are here. So what exactly happened? You may say that, okay, so it's just a message. So it's not just a WhatsApp message or text messages. Many who are coming from the banking background already, you might be aware of. So there is a specific formatted messages are sent into the banking system. Okay, and these messages are highly secure. Okay, and these messages, when I used to work in the banking domain few years ago, I mean, it's been really a decade now, I believe. Yeah, let me calculate. Yeah, it's been a decade. So then it used to be Swift message. What message it used to be, everyone?
Swift message.
Swift message. So it is spatially, I'll be writing into the chat window. It is like this, Swift messages. Okay, so there is a full form of this Swift message. All right, but there are the various type of Swift message. Few Swift message are targeted to check balance. Few Swift message are dedicated to run the payroll. Few Swift messages are just to money transfer, and there are various type of money transfers like account clearing house, ACH we call it as or national account clearing house account, or we call them as a NACHA, or we call it as a electronic clearance system. We call them as a ECS, or there are many such systems are there who follow certain ground rules or certain specific messaging. Okay, and these messages are in the system's backend, are literally they are written. Okay, so what happens when I let me do this for you. Okay, uh wait a second, let me do this for you. Is this ha Swift message to money transfer, Swift message format. Okay, formatting to money transfer, Swift message format example. Okay, so let's see how it appears, and if I can find it out, I can tell you. So generally, what happens? These messages are written for money transfer. So these are generally written initially into, spatial shell coding, or you call it as a quite easy or comfortable when you when you what I wanted to tell. Yeah, when you transfer this message, okay, yeah, so these are written into scripting language. I mean, there will be some codes involved into it. Okay, you
I think
see,
that example might give a
yeah,
what
yeah,
is there's an example that what is an example of Swift message of
that's
that
what
is
I'm giving. Yeah,
yeah, there is a question mark question there. If you
where?
come down itself, yeah, there is what is an example of a Swift message? That was one of the questions there. Example of a Swift money transfer. Yeah, that might give.
No, I don't want to give this. I'm just telling you the format, okay? How it is written, okay? It is written in, using, mainly it is more secured on a Linux operating system, and because Windows can also access, so there are some utility it is connected with, generally Telnet or Putty. There are, these are called as, some utility that will give the access in the similar environment. Okay, so here you understand the structure is very important when it comes to Swift messaging. So although for awareness purpose it is okay for you to know, but for now you don't have to do it by your own self. Now what you see here, guys, just so here the details are there. Say for example, it has many codes that will or format will remain unchanged. Okay, what you need to do, say for example, you need to send message, or you need to transfer money. You need to just change the bank account number. Okay, and you might have to change the amount, and few of them will remain as is. Okay, that happens during the Swift message. Now you see here the various type of money transfer messages are there: MT0, access, MT 119, MT 218, or something like that. So it signifies all the details of it. But when it comes to here, you see the few Swift codes will be there, branch codes are there. But when you, you know, edit these messages, say for example, um, yeah, modify these messages, because it will always hold. The Swift messages will be hard coded and its format will be there with you. Okay, but you need to execute this message. The message sending happens through execution. How it happens?
To execution.
Through execution. When I say execution, what do we mean by this? So when in the during your childhood, or in your school days, you might have come across a few programming languages. Like, I don't know how many of you might have heard of some programming languages where few things are coded and you need to execute them. Have you heard such terms?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a method, there are the commands to execute them. Likewise, when you modify your messages, these messages, what you need to do is that you need to execute them. So in a specific environment, when you execute them, what you need to do is that the file name followed by certain command. Because I said that it was written, these messages are written into shell scripting. And what scripting, everyone?
Shells.
Shell scripting. And that you don't even need to know in detail, but for the knowledge purpose, it's okay if I'll tell you. So for Swift messages, if you happen to execute them, the command will be .ksh. What will be the command? The command will be
Dot
ksh.
AS.
Yeah, KSH. KSH stand for kernel shell. Okay, it stands for kernel shell. Okay, so when you give this message, okay, and then say for example, the simple command will be do file name. Okay, file name. I think do file name dot ksh. something like that. This will happen. Okay. And then you need to enter into the environment, which belongs to, Swift message sending. And, this messaging gets fired to the recipient and they get the instruction. All right. So somewhere it looks like this, but yeah, you can explore it more further. Okay. An example of Swift code someone was telling. So this is another example where B has specific meaning, C has specific meaning, that you can see here. Okay. It was represented over here as well. Okay. So you are understanding for now there is a specific coding. Yes or no? We need to follow the specific code when we need to write the Swift message. But are you going to write the Swift message right now? No, you don't need to write the Swift message. You are understanding the life cycle, and while you are understanding the life cycle, it states here that simply bank A transfer a message to bank B to do the necessary action. Okay, everyone with me so far? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of message bank A will send to bank B for transferring the money?
Swift message.
Swift message, absolutely right. And there will be type of Swift message that will be decided depending upon the what kind of account and all, what kind of bank is there. So it will be decided with those empty codes. So when you will go in more detail of it, in depth of it, you will get to understand. So messaging is a different part itself in the banking system. So what happens the moment the message is transferred? Now, the bank A will debit $1 million and tag it to bank B, so that you see here, and Bank A Bank A will be crediting to Bank B, and Bank B's account will be debited further and tagged to Bank B's account holder and get associated with that account holder's account. Okay. And at the third step, what is happening? Once the payment of $1 million is credited to Bank B's account, the Fed wire fund transfer is completed. For most fund transfer involving online depository institution, the time that elapses between when a funds transfer message is sent and when a payment is received is matter of second. Now you understand I was talking about what kind of command is given just to enter into specific environment. It looks like command prompt or something. So you might have done some activity on the command prompt earlier. Yes or no? Yeah? Say yes or no. You
Yes.
might have
Yes.
done
Yes.
any activity in the command prompt or not. So how it functions? Say for example, if I need to list down all the directory, I don't know how many directories are there. So I just type dir and just within a fraction of second, it gave me all the list. Did you see that? Yes, no,
Yes.
everyone with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So likewise, even this fraction of second, you get to see a message transfer gets completed. Now, what happens? Customer B gets the credit $1 million associated with his bank account, and bank B is debited. So it says here, once the Fed wire transaction is completed, bank B makes the designated $1 million payable and available to customer B on the day payment occurs. So now the customer B can go ahead and he can just withdraw his money. Okay, so this is how this cycle is. Always the central bank will play the key role to become the gateway of fund transfer between source and the recipient, source and destination. Okay, it will allow you to do the fund transfer in this way. So for that, you need to understand the in detail. Life cycle will be remaining the same, but in detail, you should be aware of the messaging services, what all types of messaging are there. You need to also understand the different types of available payment transfer options. With me so far, everyone? So that is a different story to learn about when you will go more in detail. Yeah? Yes, no, with me so far, can I move to the next domain?
Yes.
Yeah? Everyone, say
Yes.
yes if you are learning and understanding. Okay. Wait a second. Yeah, let's move to the insurance one. Okay. So now in insurance, what all you know? What do you do when it comes to insurance? Many of you already know about it. What do you do in insurance? When it comes to insurance, what do you do? What do you know?
We submit
take a
claims.
Selling insurance.
Yeah, go ahead, Shruti.
Yeah, we submit claims.
You submit claim. What else you do? So why do you submit claim?
You sell
Because-
insurance too, right?
We sell insurance. Okay, when we sell insurance, it means what else happened? When selling is happening, what else is happening in
We
back?
are buying an insurance policy.
Brilliant. You are buying an insurance policy. It means that you are purchasing an insurance policy, and before insurance policy, you start even paying the premium, you compare multiple availability, right?
Yes.
Yes or no? When you compare, what do you compare with?
Compare the best insurance rates.
the
Based
price.
insurance rates. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you compare based insurance rate, are they already issued policy to you?
No.
Are they issued policy to you when you are comparing the products? Okay, when you are comparing the premium, when the various rates, are they already issued policy to you?
No, not
No.
until
No.
today.
Then they can be termed as what? If they are not issued policy, what they can termed as?
Explain.
Smita, are you trying to answer something, or I'm hearing something? Are you okay? I thought she's contributing in the class, so yeah,
Sorry, just by mistake, my hand.
not a problem. Okay, so my question was, if you are not, if it is not issued policy presented in front of you to compare the rates, then what type of what they are? If they are not issued policy, then what they are? What
Yeah,
they can
plans.
Yeah, just quotes.
Their
code.
plans.
Who said that?
I did.
Okay, brilliant. Can we give a round of applause to Dave for sharing with us his knowledge? Thank you so much, Dave. It was valuable. Yeah, you are right. It is quote, or
Thank you.
call it as a quotation. You're welcome. What do we call it as? If they are not issued policy, what they will be?
Quote.
Quote. And if you finalize one quote and you love the rating or premiums, you go ahead with that. And once you start with the quoting you finalize, quotes you finalize, then that policy will be what?
Issued.
Issued. Yes, Anushri, you are right. Thank you so much for sharing that and paying attention. Yes. So the first thing is quotation. Second is the issuance. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So always remember, any quote is initially submitted. Okay. Because you answer various questions, and based on that, quotation generated. Yes or no? Do you all agree?
Yes.
If you have bought
Yes.
online any insurance, you might be knowing that they ask you various questions. Okay, your name, age, depending upon what kind of insurance you are buying. You are buying for vehicle or yourself, life or non-life. Okay, so they will ask you various questions. Based on that, rating engine is a concept that work in the back end. Okay, it runs at the back end so that it can gives you the best premium rate. Okay, and so quote is submitted and policy is issued, and sometime if the issuance gets finalized, there is this term called bound. What is the term?
Bound.
Bound. Okay, so in some country, okay, uh issued policy can be bound. Policy can be bound, or its status can be, or status can be only issued. So this status varies country to country. With me so far, everyone? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But quote is always submitted. Okay, quote is submitted, but submitted quote can be activated too, because you have just submitted, you have all the details. It can be active or it can be inactive. Okay, if it has certain time limit, for those time limit it can be active or inactive. Now you know that quotation can be active, submitted, and then rating engine runs, premium gets finalized, and policy can be issued and then bound. Okay, so this happens with the new policy, right?
Yes.
Yes. You said that you can do the claim part as well, so claim is later. But if policy is right now new, what else may happen? This policy can run for how long? Minimum, maximum? There will be certain duration for one policy, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
It depends on the if it's auto or life, or it could be different.
Yeah, it
It
depends
depends.
upon the, but for every policy there will be a certain time limit for that, it will be given to you. Yeah, depending
Yes.
upon the product. So if policy is issued and if time is almost getting over, how long one tell me if you have you hold any policy and how long this policy is for, and do you pay again its premium second time as well, or you might have paid for second time after buying first policy, you paid its premium second time as well. Have you ever done so? It could be any kind of a premium, self or non-life. Self means life, I'm terming it to. Have you paid any premium in your life, or you might have heard?
Yes,
Yeah, so
many times.
first time when you paid your premium, were you asked to pay again?
Yes, after a
Every
month,
month.
could be after a month, or could be after 6 months, or could be after a year. If it's auto policy, it could be a month, or after 6 months, or a year.
Okay. So when you repay, when you pay again second time, say for example, first time you, okay, I need a volunteer. Can someone say yes to be the volunteer over here? Because I would be talking to you.
Yes,
Anyone? Okay, Dev.
I could be a volunteer.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much, Dev. So round of applause for Dev for being the first one. It's a self-motivated, highly courageous team. So thank you so much, Dev. So Dev, I want to ask
Yeah.
you, tell me one policy that you had bought.
Uh, I just renewed my auto policy
Okay. What
just
did you do?
couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So what kind of policy it was?
It's a auto, my car
Okay.
insurance policy.
It
Yes,
was
for six
vehicle
months.
insurance. And
Correct.
car insurance he bought for 6 months, and after
Yes,
6 months what they did, everyone, they made a term over here, made a used a word, what he did with his policy.
I renewed it.
Renewed it.
Yeah, so what is this term is called as, other than Dev? Can you tell me, anyone other than Dev, what he did?
Renewal.
Renewal, absolutely right, Shruti. So like we have new policy, new code, we have one more terminology which is called as renewal. Now renewal will also undergo the similar kind of phases, stages. Renewal, but here is a very important role. Before he could renew that, he gets a trigger, he gets an email, depending upon what kind of bank or financial institution he has taken insurance from. Based on their criteria, they issue them uh, either 30 days before one email or notification, or 45 days ago, or 60 days ago, or 15 days ago, or 90 days ago, depending upon what type of insurance, what type of financial institution is there. But before he could renew that, he receives one invite, that to which we call it as a renewal invitation. What do we call it as?
Yeah,
Renewal
renewed it.
Renewal
invitation.
invitation.
Okay, let's hear from Dev that when does he receive the renewal invitation? 15 days ago of the policy expiry or 1 month
Uh,
ago?
it de- yeah, it depends on company to company, but usually I get a text message saying that your renewal is up, and you may want to renew your policy or it will expire on this date.
Yeah.
So then I renew it, but it depends on different companies.
Yeah, of
But
course.
you
So
can also get an email or text message.
Of course. So we are asking about your vehicle when you renewed that. Do you remember that how long they sent you the message before before expiry of how long they did send you?
Yeah, about 3 to 4 weeks ago.
3 to 4 weeks ago. So generally it happens either it is 15 days minimum, okay, moderately 60 days because the uh, term was for 6 months. Okay, generally if it is for 1.5 months, they can choose to give you a renewal invitation before even 90 days. Okay, so there is one more term before renewal. It is called as renewal invite. What it is the term?
Okay, renewal
Renewal
invite.
invite.
Invite. So renewal invite will have its status, two types of status. Either it is unfinished or finished. What are type of states?
Finished and
Finished or
unfinished.
Finished or unfinished. So when its triggering date is, say for example, whatever the triggering date is defined in the back end, before that, the renewal invite status will always be unfinished, and the moment it touches the renewal invite triggering date set in the back end, uh, its status will change to finished. What the status will change to?
Finished.
Finished. And the moment renewal invite gets finished, the renewal get activated, and renewal will also undergo similar kind of phases what a new policy underwent. Okay, so new policy had to have the quotation active, submitted, and new policy issued. Likewise, renewal invite was finished, then it will get changed. Instead of quotation, we will be calling it as renewal invite, will become active, submitted, and then renewal will issued, and in some country, this policy will be also called as bound. What it will be called as?
Bound.
Bound, the status I'm talking about. Now, you saw about new policy, you saw the stages of the, renewal. What will happen when suppose certain some of time suddenly Dave realizes insurance company has, um, you know, done some error, and they have given the insurance policy with the error name. The name has been misspelled. Okay, what he may do to the insurance company?
I would call them and inform them that this is what has been done, and they would rectify it.
They
They
would
will have to.
rectify. This process has a name. This process has called a name or terminology. Anyone is aware of that?
Adjudication.
What is that, Shruti? Come again.
I'm not sure. Adjudication.
Not exactly. In insurance, this term is called differently. If anyone is aware, this term everyone has heard, I'm sure, but you might not be remembering right now, or might not be firm and sure that this is what exactly it is. So this term is called as endorsement. What it is called as?
Yeah,
Endorsement.
like a rider.
Endorsement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
endorsement.
Yeah, endorsement. So here you again go ahead, undergo the phases of endorsement, where whatever the rectification is required, that will happen. Say, for example, your birthday is to be rectified because they might have changed the birthday. Now, do you know that this small rectification will impact the premium as well? Of course, it may, if you are going for the life insurance. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, yeah, date of
Yes.
birth is
Yeah. So now there are important questions, and these questions have a term. I'll be coming to that, but for now you understand. Endorsement will also go the similar phases. Endorsement will be first quoted and then submitted, and then endorsement will be endorsed policy will be issued and bound. Now, in case you
Uh,
don't want,
Per
yeah, yeah.
1 second, did I understand it correctly? Does it mean rider
No, I
or
did
it's
not
something else?
use the word that yet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry about that.
not a problem. So I'll be talking about what Dave was trying to mean, but for now you understand the endorsement. Now, in case Dave does not want to continue with that company, what he can do?
Cancel the
Cancel the
policy.
policy.
What the policy? What you said?
Cancel it.
Cancel the policy.
Exactly. You are right. Both of you are right, Anushri and Nagalakshmi. Yeah. So now you understand about new policy, you understand about renewal, you understand about renewal invite, you understand about endorsement. Now cancellation is another term. So a cancellation will undergo the similar phases. Now, if any commercial, transaction is associated with this uh, person, the refund will take place as well. The same goes in the endorsement cases as well. If someone has to pay, they need to pay as well. So for cancellation will be again requested, it means quoted, and then it will be active, finished, and then it will be issued. Even cancellation policy will be issued. Now all of a sudden he realizes that, okay, I did not want to cancel, I cancelled it in error, but I want to restart with this insurance company. What he can do?
A reinstatement.
Reinstatement. Yeah, this is the another terminology in the insurance sector. Cancelled policy can be reinstated. Cancelled policy can be done what?
Reinstated.
Reinstated. Again, reinstatement is as equal to as fresh policy. It will also undergo, reinstatement quoted, then active, and then, reinstated policy bound or issued or issued and then bound. Okay, now you tell me, can reinstated policy be endorsed?
Yes.
Yes, of course, yes. The answer is yes. Can a reinstated policy be renewed?
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. Now you tell me, if it can be renewed, it can be endorsed. Can this policy be cancelled again?
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. You know already everything. Now let me share the
Obviously,
screen.
it's our policy. We can cancel it,
Yes,
right?
yeah, you're right. But I wanted all of you to be very, very sure that, this is your policy. You can do whatever you feel like doing with this. So I covered here the code information. But you know what happens? On what criteria the rating engine works? So there are few roles associated with this entire processing system. One is called as processor. Into other than, so I'll be telling you what happens in USA and out of USA. So in USA, you may get to be aware of few roles in the insurance sector are called as processor, producer, supervisor, and underwriter. Underwriter is the common factor in every country you will be finding, because he or she is the deciding person for issuing any policy. Okay, because he checks every single question, and these questions are called as underwriting question. What question they are called as?
Underwriting.
Underwriting question. Now, if Dev goes for the buying a fresh policy, the policy company will ask, okay, how old your car is, the make, model, manufacturing date, and brand name, company name. So these are the basic information. Who is the driver, driver details, primary driver details, but also the location where the car is parked. Okay, the few question will be, is it park closed to fire-prone area or flood-prone area, or where some risk are involved. So they will be asking those questions, and based on the answer you provide them, the underwriter will see whether this person should be issued those policy or not. And these questions are called as what, everyone? Just now I said these questions are called as what, everyone?
Underwriting questions.
Underwriting question. Okay. So see here, where it is mentioned, quotation policy, how it undergoes, policy information you submit, then initially it is pending, an active policy, and then it gets issued. Issued policy is always active. The same happens with endorsement. Now in everywhere, billing is involved. So you key in the however you are just making the payment, that payment gets tagged, gets stored sometime. And for claim, what you need to give is that what all details that what the your insurance covers, and for what basis you are asking for the claim. Okay, so this is the separate. So this is the policy life cycle that involves new policy, endorsed policy, cancelled policy, reinstated policy, and renewed policy. All right, everyone, any questions so far? Yes, no. So these are the few things for the policy. Okay. So with this note, okay, with this note, I'm done with what? I'm done with what? And I'm done with the insurance, payment under banking, and what? And healthcare. Okay. So any questions so far? So this is on high level that you have learned. If you want to go more in detail, you can definitely choose to go in detail. But to get into any domain, you will have to have the basic knowledge at the surface level initially of the life cycle. The moment you are aware of the life cycle, now you have the choice to go deeper into that. And if you want to learn anything like an expert, kindly follow the golden quadrant of learning. Generally, we follow that during the start of session. Okay, we did not follow it. Having said so, anything you have any question? If not, I want to invite Prerna if she can shed some light on human resource life cycle or domain, HRM domain. Are you ready for this? The question to all of you before Prerna comes in.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
thank you,
ready.
Prerna. Yeah, Prerna.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, guys, today's session is quite interesting because, Gaurav has really provided pretty good insight about these domains. Okay. And as he mentioned, see, there are as per my experience, all the domains are like onions. Okay. They have multiple layers. So, but then to know what kind of domain you're working in, having some idea about it all is always extremely helpful. Okay, you can always dig much, or you can always, I would say, further research with YouTube, with internet. But having a basic understanding about any life cycle or any domain is absolutely, it's like an addition in your skill or a feather in your cap. So I am getting some. Everybody's on mute. Maybe some other sound. Okay. So let us understand HRMS. That's short for Human Resource Management System. Okay. Now, again, the scope of this domain is very, very big. I mean, as per every organization, it differs. For some organizations, it's very limited. For some, it is extremely evolved. So, can I just ask a very random question? That according to you, what all I would say activities or what all things fall under human resource? Human resource means HR, the one they are in the in every organization. Rather, they are the mandatory one department. So, what do you think? Which all activities fall under that?
Onboarding, payroll,
Mm-hmm.
benefits, performance.
Yes. Yes.
Things like that.
Yeah, but very, very good answer, I would say. And
Training.
what
It
about
could be training
others?
also. Sorry.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Training,
Yeah.
yes. And what about others? I mean, you really have kind of covered major of them, but yes. What about others? Anything that comes to your
Maintaining the welfare of the employees,
mind? Yes, yes.
resolving conflicts.
Mm-hmm. That means any complaints and things like that, right? Like POSH
Yes,
and other things. Yeah.
yes.
And I mean, we have covered majority. One of the important that we missed as of now is time and attendance, because now we are working in hybrid environment, but generally when you're in office, your in office expectations are there. So yes, that's one of the prime. What about others? Anybody wants
Did
to add to
sorry.
this? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Did you say time management? Is it a part of the HR? I didn't know that.
Not time management, time and attendance. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. As in, now it is not in trend, but then when you go to a smaller organizations, I mean, sadly, they have this weird culture that if you punch in after some hours, you might have to apply for a half day, or it might your half day leave will be cancelled. As in, they don't have flexi time work policies. Okay, there are some organizations, maybe not particularly IT, but then we are learning about HRMS as a whole. So I'm saying. So,
Right.
and again, your attendance matters because if you're not working on a particular day, then you have to opt for any of your leaves, right? Sick leave.
Yeah, I was just going to
Then,
say that. So vacations are also managed by them, correct?
yeah, that is also part of attendance and thing,
I
because
see.
vacation is basically non-attendance, right? Absenteeism. So, but what kind of absenteeism it is? If it is
Okay.
a applied one, that means you have spoken with your manager, you are systematically applied in your login portal, in your HRMS portal, then it's absolutely fine. Then there are times when sometimes people abscond, especially new joiners, or maybe with some issues there. I mean, sadly, but yes, this kind of thing happens. So in that scenario,
Uh,
attendance plays major role. Yes, go ahead.
I'm not sure. It could be a part because I've seen it. How about all like IRS auditing or compliance? You need to inform your data to government or regulatory authorities.
That's a different
Uh,
organization. It's an audit.
okay.
Yeah,
Like
actually,
compliance wouldn't be the part of HR?
compliance to some extent, compliance with respect to employee data falls under HRMS. But then for in detail audit and other compliance, we already have audit department or
Audit department.
Okay.
PMOs from every vertical or senior management level. They manage that along with audit. But generally, banks will always have a dedicated audit department. Other organizations, they will have SPOCs, like, a special set of people or teams. But then employee related compliance, like for example, in a bank, some of the trainings are mandatory with respect to banks, or even I was just saying POSH training, that is prevention of sexual harassment training. It's, I think, mandatory in every organization. Then some organizational level training, maybe history of your organization or their current objectives, that kind of training. So that kind of compliance, okay, that kind of compliance comes under HR for sure. So compliance is a very broader term, but then if I have to talk about audit and thing, that with respect to employees, yes, but not overall organization level.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
How about payroll management? That
Yeah,
also comes
thank
under.
you. Yes, payroll absolutely comes under HRMS. See, basically, attendance, absenteeism, payroll, and your compliance. These all compliance with respect to employees. These all are interlinked. It doesn't look that obvious, but it is. Like, for example, if you are if you have exhausted all your leaves and then you're still applying for leaves, then that leave will be considered as loss of pay, LOP that we call it, right? So that will affect your payroll. You're getting the chain reaction, and then that
Yes.
will affect your in-hand salary for that particular month. Okay, so that is the structure. Again, if you are under some, just imagine that you maybe broke some law, or you were not uh, working as per the rules of the organization. Maybe there is some investigation going on. Let's go little dramatic. So in that scenario, also your payments, your salary might be on hold. Okay, or if you are serving notice period, right?
Right. Basically, resignation and all that is also HR itself.
Yes, absolutely. So onboarding and exit, both are HR. I clearly mentioned somebody. I clearly remember somebody mentioning onboarding. So definitely, along with onboarding, exit. Even exit interview in many organizations, they take proper exit interviews. Then with that, your I would say performance. So see, what happens is nowadays, why we are learning about this domain is because many of us are not even aware. Sorry, something with my throat. Many of us are not even aware about the functionalities of HR, and which really directly affect us. So when I say onboarding and exit, many of the people are still not aware that there has to be an exit interview, and it is a very important one. They really ask about your overall feedback about the organization, about the manager. So apparently it is a very good platform to share your feedback in a very respectful and polite manner. Okay, you need not be abusive and very rough, but then you can share if you had faced any kind of issues or problems, then it can be very well properly cited and mentioned. Or if it's a personal I would say decision to move on to a better opportunity for whatever reason, better salary, better perks, better benefits, better opportunities, so you can always mention that. So as everybody is aware about onboarding is hiring and onboarding, we can call it. So let's go in a flow. So first and foremost is hiring and onboarding. And even before onboarding, hiring means there are even within HR there are multiple teams, like not one person manages all. So there is a dedicated team who only looks after recruitment. Now everybody knows this word recruitment. Yes, we are also very excited to get recruited by a good organization with good pay, right? All of us. So recruitment starts with the process of finding the right candidate for the right job, right? So basically, you have an open position, you have a requisition. It is called as a requisition number or requisition ID with all the details. Maybe you want a .NET developer, you want a business analyst, you need a Scrum Master, a product owner. It can be any role. And then, as per that, you have to find a candidate outside the organization. Okay, so that is called as recruitment. And even in many of the scenario, you might want to find internal candidate. It is called as IJP, that is internal job posting. Like imagine today, like right now some of you are trying to get cross I would say industry. Maybe you were working in marketing, now you want to get into IT. So imagine if your own organization has IJP. So IJP is what? It's a portal wherein you can see all the upcoming job availability in every department, every section, every location. Okay, if you're working in a global organization, then all the open the requirements globally, all the available requirements. Okay, so even that comes under HR, that portal management. And even somebody applies, and so how to approach, like you have to give your resume, you have to apply through the portal. So even this, earlier this section was not that explored, but as organizations grew and as they started believing more and more in multi-skilling or cross-skilling, and freedom within the organization. So what happens, somebody tell me what is the benefit of IJP? Why IJPs are encouraged? IJPs,
Uh,
internal job post.
could be for the employee retention.
Absolutely right. That's one of the major point. And why would you think why employee retention is important?
Hiring from external market is more expensive, right? If you have the talent within the company, isn't it?
Yes, I'm so glad you all are thinking like this. In some of the companies, people are not so prudent and think like that, you know. So yes, all the answers are correct. First of all, hiring from outside is a tedious job, you know. It's like you really have to search and ensure the person is right before even getting into the interviews. Then they go at least minimum 2 to 3 or 4 rounds of interviews, okay, and then they get hired. Then if they're already working, they'll have their notice period. So around I mean, in US it's generally 2 weeks notice, but in India it's like 2 months or 3 months or at least 1 month notice period. So that's like a huge gestation period of waiting, you know, when when the new resource will come
Yeah.
in. So that really becomes like a long cycle. So to avoid all that, if you have an interested candidate who is already your employee, so they can even be trained and skilled and start working on a different role if they are willing to and if the opportunity is there. Along with that, all the initial hiccups, like for example, if somebody new joins, they will have their onboarding. You know, we were yet to discuss onboarding. So onboarding is basically you have to like download multiple. Now everybody works in hybrid mode, so you know you have to download a lot of applications for the safety and security of your login from home. You know, you cannot directly log in. You have a remote login, and then you'll have authentication. You'll have 100 more app. I mean, not 100 exactly, but in a couple of more softwares. So I remember when I joined my my current company, you know, one day, like half a day was only with HR and with like, you know, 10 or 15 other joiners and, you know, trying to log into systems. And, you know, trust me, it's a tedious or time consuming task. So and then after that, they have to finish some trainings and some formalities, some filling of forms. So why to get into all that chaos if you have resources? So, and then existing resources are aware about company policies. They know how the work is done. They know what benefits the company is giving. And then if you keep your employees within the same organization, it's a win-win for both of you. You know, they might get some hike if the role is for a senior level, or if they perform well, that will be again calculated or given as a bonus. So all these things are there. So IJP, yes, it's a very, I would say, absolutely effective and now currently very popular function. When in my earlier organizations, I had never seen so vast majority or variety of rules. But in my current organizations, when I speak to people, I understand they are having so many. I mean, it's so flexible. So imagine if you in your current company only you get a role that you're looking for outside, it will be so comfortable for you, right? Though the team, the people, the work would be different, but the organization is still same. Your location would be the still same. You can still have lunch with your old friends, you can still have people to catch up with, you know. So half of your anxiety goes away, you know, you have people to consult to, and then you feel at home. Everybody understands this? Are you with me on this? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so IGP is one of the see why I am focusing on this function quite more is because tomorrow in any, you know, in a particular interview or in any of your existing projects, if you could elaborate on these points, that kind of shows the depth of your knowledge. They would really understand that you have worked in this domain, or you have thorough knowledge of this domain, and it is a very practical domain. Okay, there is nothing technical or nothing fishy about it. It's what you see, what happens in organization that you get. Okay, so yes, we were learning about onboarding, recruitment, and then onboarding. As I mentioned, you know, sometimes it is virtual, sometimes it is actual physical. That means you go to your office and, you know, there's a training room, or dedicated a different location given, then you might be having some free lunches and dinners, and they will give you the detailed training. Some senior people from organization come and tell you about the history, and basically they'll try to get you up to speed with the organization values and what it stands for. And in some scenarios, if that is done, then you can actually be introduced to your current team where you will be working, and then they can also give you some brief about why you are here, or what is the expectations and things like that. Okay. By the way, in onboarding, while onboarding all your basic queries with respect to salary, with salary as in with respect to payroll, when it will be given, and what is your in office expectation, what is the basic code of conduct, and all that, that will all be also be touched upon. I'm not saying it will be a very detailed session, but they'll share what is the basic minimum expectation. Yeah, everybody understood this? Any doubt in recruitment onboarding? Yes? No?
I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know we learned about these terms, but how BA, so it would be the same thing, right? Like it would BA would act as a bridge between HR team and the
Yes,
technical
if
team,
you are
right?
working
The
as a
same
BA
thing.
for this domain, right? Absolutely
Okay,
right.
so
So basically, see,
the same thing. Okay.
as a BA, unless you're a domain expert, you might not have information about all the domains. So imagine you're a domain expert for banking, okay, but you're not a domain expert for HRMS. And tomorrow your project, you have been given an internal project for the organization to develop a new application for HR, and you need to understand these things. And then you will go. I mean, I myself have done that. When I was working for a TCS subsidiary, it was a TCS sister concern organization. At that time, we had to develop a software for one of the TCS departments, and then it was an HRMS software. Then we actually used to sit with the HRs and take. At that time, I was working as a BA come developer, as a developer, but I used to work very closely with BA. So I used to go in the discussions, and we used to ask them certain questions. So first of all, you have to listen to them. They will give you what all activities, functionalities they are expecting from us, what they want from us, what they want us to develop, how the portal should look like, what all things they can do, how they can see the attendance, how they can manage things. So all that thing they will tell us. And then if you have any doubts in that functionality, you can ask. So as a BA, our first and foremost rule is to understand what are the requirements and to gather them, and then mention them in such a manner that they are understandable by everyone, especially by the your development team also. So development team speaks technical language, HR speaks plain English. So you as a mediator, as a bridge, need to write in very simple and systematic format, maybe using some flow diagrams, some other activity diagrams. So that will be easier for your team also to understand, and it should be very clear that even if tomorrow HR reads that documents, they should also understand, okay, that their functionalities or their requirements are mentioned in a proper manner. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, but yeah, it makes sense. So it's the same process with every domain.
Absolutely, every
Yeah.
domain.
Okay.
Every
Basically, in
domain, every
HR,
team.
the business user is the HR team, right?
Yes, absolutely right.
Most
Here,
all
your
stakeholders.
client or your customer is HR. If you are working for an in-house development,
In-house
if you
development.
are, yeah, if you are in-house development means within your organization, and if you are developing a software for HRMS for any third party or other organization, then definitely that organization's HR, that organization's SPOC is your customer, then you will speak to
Right.
that. But then honestly or practically universally functionalities or functions of HR remains constant. Yeah, you will have additional new functionalities, but just basic like payroll or attendance or recruitment, onboarding, exit. These are the pivotal and most common functionalities which HR has
And
to
they
manage.
remain same, right? For almost all
Yes,
organizations.
the way say we say K, the constant remains same that way. So because that is their activity, right? That is why HR stands for it. So yes, and so we covered recruitment, we covered onboarding, we covered some details with respect to onboarding. So now it comes to employee data. Nobody actually mentioned that, so that was also one point. Employee data means, see, all your confidential details like your social security number. In India, it's like your Aadhaar, PAN card, or your family details. So why employee data? Because organizations gives you coverage of health insurance or life insurance, depending on organization to organization. Even your your maternity benefits, in case of your childbirth, or nowadays even your paternity benefits. I mean, my current organizations and some other MNCs have given 3 months of paternity leaves. Can you imagine 3 months of paternity, not maternity? So that's a great advancement. Finally, they have realized that both the parents are equally important, and they should be available, or they should be there with the child. So that kind of and by the way, these are policy drafting, not only employee data, but policy drafting is also part of HRs. So though they do that. So for that, they have to be aware of the recent and new trends, what is happening. Even nowadays in my current organizations, diversity at all levels. So not only for women or minority, but LGBTQ plus, that all is also very, very active. So I've been and I am still part of a global committee. So we kind of, though I'm not in HR, but then as a committee from different organizations, we come together and we celebrate some of the major events. It can be World Health Awareness Day, or Mental Health Awareness Day, or it can be a LGBTQ month. I think that is in June or July, that we call it Pride Month. So again, respective festivals of each country, like here in Diwali or Christmas or Halloween, or things like that. Again, Autism Day, Women's Day, or even Men's Day for that matter, or Disability Month. So all these things were not so I would say broadly or elaborated way earlier celebrated, but now they're huge, okay, because you have a dedicated team. So for that also HR involvement is important. You get all those mails and flyers, that this upcoming event is coming. So all that is currently part of the HR. Though there are people supporting them and and giving them inputs, but then majority of the work falls under HR. So has anybody seen such mails in their organizations, for celebrations or upcoming events? Yes, no. In earlier organizations, don't tell me. I mean, I think that is quite common in most of the organizations. Yeah. Pin drop silence. That's scary. So, guys, you have not seen any kind of mails in your earlier organizations for any kind of celebrations like.
Yes, we have. For Diwali
Yes,
or for Christmas and all that, there are
yes,
mails.
yes. May not be for any other particular day, but your Independence Day or things like that. But nowadays,
Yeah.
that's why I gave you furthermore example. Nowadays, it has become so wide. So she try to understand. It is not a very simple like attendance and salary and all, but no, it is their scope has grown so much. Even in our current organizations, we keep having some cricket tournaments and mixed tournaments, this to chess tournament. I mean, what not? Whichever game you can imagine, you can play those tournaments. So all that and see, these are recurring activities. It's not you do once and you forget. So who manages that? You have to manage imagine it's a cricket tournament, okay? Though I know barely anything about it, but at least you got to find a ground to play. You got to book a ground. You have to find a time. You have to get a referee. You have to manage things. You have to have some funds to ensure that winning team gets some prize. So all these things are, they look very simple, but there are a lot of planning involved, right? Any event, we all understand, even if you have a small birthday party or small get together at home, planning is essential. How many people are coming, what kind of food arrangement, so all that, even that parties, birthday parties or Diwali or Christmas or New Year parties, for that, those kind of. So though it looks like fun activity, but it is not that fun for all the HR teams, because a lot of hard work goes into that. So after that, let's get on to some serious kind of things. That is your payroll, and that is your benefits and annual bonus. Okay, so these all things are linked. As per your grade, you get your salary. That is, if you're at junior level, your salary will be in a specific range. If you're a middle tier level, middle management level, your salary will be in this much range. So as per your performance, as per your deliverables for entire year, you will be giving some particular ratings, medium, high, low, whatever. So as per that your bonus will be given. So if you have high rating, your bonus will be higher. If you have an average rating, it will be a normal bonus. If you are getting low rating, then you will be also put into PIP, that is again a performance improvement plan. Even that HR is also part of that particular activity. HR will come in picture. They will ask you to complete some project or deliver some work, and if you do it properly, then your ratings for the next quarter or next year will be increased, or sometimes it is termination of your employment also. So all these things are a part of HR framework, though it looks very small. It looks. I mean, people generally look at this domain at a very lighter note. They are like, what they do, they just do time pass and they just do very light work. But no, managing. Trust me, calculating salary, understanding their bonus. Though they will have tools and they will have all the I would say help required, but then having that, and then as I mentioned, time and attendance is also important. If you are not present, if you have absenteeism, if you are not following the office and work policy, then again it will be raised. And then in majority of banks, if you are not completing trainings, that also needs to be highlighted. So that also comes under HR. Though HR will take help of your seniors and they'll send mailers to them, but then again it falls in the purview of HR work. And yes, I think overall data management of employees is under HR. So that all also is quite important, and it is I would say managed by the overall HR team. I'm not saying it's only one person or one team. So yes, and after all that, your exit process that we had, earlier discussed, that if you're leaving the organization, they'll ask you they'll have a set questionnaire, that why are you doing, what are your aspirations, what was the good about this organization, what you think could be better, and things like that. So overall, an end-to-end experience for an employee, starting with the joining till the till he or she leaves the organization. So it's a very inclusive and exclusive domain, quite easy and relatable, but there's a lot to learn, because this domain is on daily basis. The activities and functionalities are increasing. Okay. So I think we have discussed enough. Anybody has any particular doubts in this domain? Yeah. Anyone? Smita, Shruti, Shweta, we got all SSS. I mean, I think all the ladies are from S. Shubhangi, I just observed that. So yes, no. Everyone okay with this? If no, you can say no, and then I can request.
I have a
Yeah,
question, Prerna. You
yeah.
always,
Go ahead,
you
Dev.
always give, you always give a lot of practical examples. So you said you did work with HR, right? I mean, in
Yes,
HRD
yes.
department. So I know you are a
I
project
didn't
manager.
work
So
in HR department. I worked with HR for their
yeah,
develop
yeah,
for
that's
their
what I meant. That's
yeah.
what I meant. So can you like, as a like for us, like a BA or Scrum Master, can you give example that could be challenging or it could help us understand the process? I mean, we understood the
Challenging
terms of it.
isn't
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The challenges, that is sometimes, which I also face, that the HRs, when I was, see, again, that time I was at a very, initial level. I myself was not as experienced when I started working on that project. It was a long time back. So the challenges are frequently changing requirements. Trust me, I faced that, because, that in today's discussion, they wanted to have some functionality in this manner. Like, for example, they wanted to have attendance in a particular format. Tomorrow they were like, no, we want to have this functionality. So basically the challenge was, if they keep changing their requirement to greater extent, it is very difficult. It is very difficult for us to concretize it, you know. So it's like, what should be the final activity or functionality that they need? And it is, by the way, it is not only with HR, it is with everyone. And second point is their availability, because they do have their day-to-day BAU activities and they have their daily work and meetings. It is sometimes very tough to reach out to them, or they are come and attending. And also in many times because it is your internal or internal project, in-house project, that kind of things. So they like, okay, we can catch up later, and that kind of things happen. When it is a customer, it doesn't happen that often, because both the parties are involved. But yes, with HR, many a times, because of their prior commitments, your appointments gets postponed, and that kind of hurts your deliverables, because the delay would be considered from your side. So these are the actual problems that I had faced, which are in a way universal, but when you're working with HRs, they are quite often they arise. Yeah. Anything else? Have you got the gist of it?
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
for
you.
explaining.
Thank you so much for asking the question. So yes, if we don't have any other questions, I will request Gaurav to take over, and thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Gaurav. Gaurav, are you there, or you're not able to hear us?
Yeah, Prerna, what you
Yeah.
said? Hello?
I was like, over to you. We are
Okay.
done, so we can. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
all right. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Now it's a quick time for attendance. You can go back in the WhatsApp group, type in your name, and one thing that comes in your mind, you feel like saying, please type in so that I can go ahead and take your attendance. Number one. Number two, tomorrow, come prepared, because tomorrow you must have your Trello account minimum. And in case you think that you are going to set up over here, no, you won't be able to, because this will be really in time box manner, and we will have the Trello related workshop tomorrow. All right, everyone? Yes? Everyone understood what I said? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Gaurav, can I ask you very quickly?
Yeah,
the-
go ahead.
Can I get it session, the recorded session, the one I had with you?
Oh, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
share that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, and have a good night. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Take
Good
care.
day. I'm sorry.